Namaste everybody, Bruce here from rootsoflife.org. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 super important tips to continue to grow your Reiki and wellness practices. Now, I've covered the idea of, kind of growing your business as well in a previous video that I'm going to link here, but I wanted to dive into 3 super important points to continue the discussion from that video and hopefully to continue your own growth in your own business practice. Now, I get it, right? This is a difficult journey. It's a difficult journey for literally everybody who is trying to get themselves up and on their own 2 feet in their own holistic wellness practice. And like I was saying in the previous video that I linked earlier, the first thing to watch out for is people who are going to make you promises that you can, make all this money and you're going to blow up the spot and you're going to get so many clients and all of that. It doesn't work like that. If it did, first off, those people wouldn't be advertising their services because it'd be far too expensive. And then second off, nobody would be struggling with their business, right? So what do we do? Here is my 3 points to really consider. Point number 1 is the depth of your knowledge, right? How deep is your knowledge base? How secure is your knowledge base? How strong, how confident? And really with that, I'm further saying, how much are you working on yourself, right? How much are you studying? Are you learning? Are you growing? So why is this super important? Well, in this practice and in the world of holistic wellness and Reiki and so on, a lot of these modalities can be learned, relatively quickly, to be honest. And people who learn things quickly are then going to practice with the idea that they're going to save the world. They just learned some brand new thing and now they got it and they can unlock the whole world and they can heal everybody, they can do everything and stuff. You can't. That's not how it works. Not how anything in life works, right? So if we are constantly working on deepening our knowledge, deepening our practice, surrendering into our practice, learning more about the roots of our practice, then we can continue to grow our own confidence, our presence, our poise, and our stillness within the practice. Let me give a non-Reiki example here. If you know my backstory, you know that I also teach yoga. I focus on Ashtanga and Yin, primarily 2 different kind of contrasting forms that I really appreciate. But to learn yoga, it literally takes 30 days, right? I mean, that's kind of like a long course. You can even go to India and become a yoga teacher in like 2 days, like in a weekend. Okay, so what? Like you learn yoga for like 6 hours or 10 hours or whatever, and now you can go and teach other people. It's like, it doesn't make any sense, right? And, I get it. Like you learn something new and you want to share it with the world and all that, but you don't know the depth of the practice. Yoga is like a 7,000-year-old or whatever, it's super ancient practice. We can't master that in a month or obviously a weekend, right? Reiki is, Usui Reiki Ryoho anyways, is just now 100 years old. But the practice of energy healing or healing with laying of hands is obviously thousands and thousands and thousands of years old. So how can we learn something in a course, sometimes that are taught like on back-to-back days, and then go and heal and hold space for others? It's just simply not possible, right? So constantly turning inward, constantly working on yourself, constantly deepening your knowledge, constantly perfecting your practice. Because, let's bring it back to Reiki here, this is one of the guiding precepts of Reiki. Just for today, I will do my work honestly. Honestly, right? That means that's great. You learned Shoden. You've just done level 1. Awesome. Do your 21 days of self-healing now honestly. Be honest, right? Continue to study. Continue to get up every single day and make your practice and the understanding of your practice part of your day. It's super important, right? If for no other reason, diving all of that knowledge into yourself is going to separate you from all the people who are not doing that. And there you go. That's it right there, because 95 or whatever percent of people, most people are not doing that. Most people are simply learning something quickly and then acting like they can teach it, right? It's great. We all have to take our first steps. But if you're trying to grow a business, you need to keep taking steps. right? You don't just stop because you've learned something new and then you start offering it. I see that all the time. I see that all the time with people who are going and learning a new modality like EFT, or cranial sacral stuff, or Reiki levels, new Reiki trainings. They get certified again in another yoga lineage or whatever, and right after the thing that they've done or learned, they start offering it. Become a master at what you do, right? Be the master in what you do. That's the key. Because why would anybody seek out anybody else but an expert in the field? You wouldn't do that with a doctor. This is like the most leveling comment here, I think, right? Know your trade. Because imagine if you went to a doctor and let's say that you needed to have, some surgery on your ankle or whatever, right? If you went into the doctor and they were like, yeah, great news, I literally just got my certificate in this exact type of surgery like yesterday. Haven't done any surgeries yet. I hope it goes all right. You would literally run right out of the office and go to an expert, right? We do that in every other aspect of our life. Why do we potentially not do it in wellness? Make sure that's a focus. Become the master of your content, your trade. And that means doing your work honestly. And that means waking up every single day and working on it, right? Depth of knowledge, depth of practice, depth of surrendering. Now, the second aspect that I would really encourage then as we're working on all of that depth of practice is your visibility. And this is a thing, like I get it in the wellness space and the holistic wellness space. This is the story that empaths tell ourselves all the time. Yeah, I don't want to be so visible, or I just want to give my service. I don't want to charge anything for it because Reiki is the energy of the universe, or like everybody can meditate, or yoga is free for everybody. So I just want to be a part of that, right? That's weakness. Don't have that mindset. And let me explain why that's weakness. Because again, go back to that doctor example. Nobody on the planet would go to a doctor that's like, yeah, you know what? Like, I'm happy to do surgery on your ankle. I don't want to take any money. I'm just doing it out of the kindness of my heart. You probably wouldn't entrust that person with going in and doing surgery on your ankle, right? Because there has to be an exchange. There has to be visibility in that. And if there's no exchange, then there's a lack of confidence. In reality, what you're saying about yourself is, I don't believe in my practice enough to make it worth your money and time. That can be a frictional statement. That can be a frictional realization. It was frictional with me. I 100% walked that for probably a year and a half, 100% full transparency, right? And my visibility suffered because of that. Because if that's my belief in myself, then how am I going to get visible? There's no way you're going to become visible if you don't believe in your practice. And we don't believe in our practice if we have this mindset that we don't need to charge for it, or we don't need to honor our time and these types of things, right? I know that can be a frictional statement, and I know that might be hitting some of you a little bit too heavy or a little bit too hard. Good. It should. Investigate that. Look at your visibility, right? Are you growing your social profiles? Are you growing your website? Are you growing your community exposure? Are you growing that, by the way, not in areas of weakness, but in areas of strength? So here's an example that I would really urge all of you to consider. If you are working locally and you are considering, joining a club or working at a wellness center or something like that, go to the best. Don't go to the worst, right? Because what does that say about yourself? It's everything that we do externally is just a reflection of ourselves internally. Now, that doesn't mean that, if you can't get in anywhere else and you've got to start at ground level, then great, start at ground level and work your way up, right? This is everybody's journey. This is being on your grind. It's being on your hustle, right? You have to stay always trying to improve, always working on better visibility, always working on better content, always working on better exposure. If you want to see 100% example of that, look at my YouTube channel. Go back to the very beginning and look at how embarrassing those videos are. And then here's the best bit. As I'm saying this right now, it's October 2022, right? as I'm filming this video right now. If I look at my future self, October 2023, I'm going to look back at this video and be like, wow, dude, that was, whew, we sure have come a long way, haven't we, Bruce? That's growth, that's visibility, and that's being honest, right? Always work on the perfection of your visibility. And just recognize that you're never going to get it right. You're never going to get it right, and there's always going to be areas to improve. Put yourself out there, fail forward, find comfort in the friction of change. All of that means that you are on your grind and you are trying to get better and better and better, right? That is going to help your visibility, obviously, because you're going to be constantly putting yourself out there. And see how that ties into the first point? More visibility, then you have more opportunity to show why you are a professional in your field. And those two things together, right? Visibility and depth of knowledge are going to continue to separate you from the crowd, from the people who don't wake up every day and get on their grind, who don't wake up every day and try to perfect their videos or perfect their website or so on and so forth, right? Stay with it. I know it sucks. I know it's hard. Stay with it every day. If you can, if this is your full-time job, stay with it every single day, right? Now, the last point here is self-work, okay? Self-work ties all of these things together. I love this idea from Reiki or from meditation and yoga, right? Because in their fundamental practice or at their core of their practice, they're a self-guided practice, right? You do Reiki on yourself in a quiet room. You meditate alone. Hopefully you're doing yoga alone in quiet, right? Why are we doing that? Because it's working on the self. Get up every day, do whatever you need to do on yourself, work out, eat better, whatever it might be, all of the things that are benefiting the self, because the internal environment creates the external. If you're not working on the inside, then why would you want to increase your visibility? Why would you want to increase your depth of knowledge? Because the core of your being is going to constantly be telling you maybe you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, you're not this enough. It's all belief. It's all belief, right? So constantly working on the self will help the visibility and the depth of knowledge. If you start knocking those three things out of the park, you will start to see growth in your own career, right? And I can't wait. I can't wait until October 2023 comes around 1 year from now, and I look back on this video and I compare my videos and I compare my channel and I compare my business, because in that time, if I'm not on my grind and I'm not doing these three things that I'm sharing in this video, my business is going to suffer. If I wake up every day, or most every day anyways, and I'm constantly on the grind, constantly trying to make things better, then when I look back on myself in 1 year time, there's going to be tangible growth. And I'm going to make a video on it in 1 year time to show the difference. I'm looking forward to that. All right, everybody, I hope this video has helped. Thank you so much for tuning in, as always, and supporting the channel with your subscription. Any comments or thoughts or feedback, leave them in the comments below. I reply to all of my comments. I'm so grateful for your support. And if you want to learn more about me, head on over to rootsoflife.org. You can see my Reiki background, my Reiki lineage, my offerings in holistic wellness. And you can see the ways that I walk with my clients and potentially with you on your own journey into your own holistic wellness. Be well, everybody, and as always, in Gosho to all.